victory. Mourinho has still not lost a home league match in charge of Porto, Chelsea, Inter Milan or Real. That's 147 games in all. Real now trail leaders Barcelona by just 2 points in the title race. Sunday sees fourth-place Villarreal at home to bottom club Malaga. A win for the home side will see them move into third spot above Valencia on goal difference. The late game sees Barcelona take on Athletic Bilbao, looking to put the gap between rivals Real back to 5 points. And just one match to tell you about in the English Premier League. An injury time goal for the home side from Carlos Vela ensured a point each for West Brom and Wolves. Manchester United are through to the quarterfinals of the English FA Cup, but only after narrowly beating non-league side Crawley Town, who are 93 places below them on the football ladder. West Brom scored for the Red Devils in the first half, but Crawley came close to equalizing here. Richard Brody's header hit the crossbar. Didn't quite make it. Man United battled for a 1-0 win. There are 3 FA Cup matches Sunday. Manchester City are beating Notts County 4-0 in a 4th round replay. There are also 2 5th-round matches. Bolton are currently 1-0 up against Bolton. And a little later, Arsenal visit Leyton Orient. Formula One boss Bernie Ecclestone has reportedly said he's leaving the decision as to whether the season-opening race in Bahrain goes ahead to the country's crown prince. The ongoing protests in the kingdom have already forced the cancellation of the scheduled test events at the circus in the capital, Manama. Crown Prince and heir apparent Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa is also the deputy head of the armed forces. A decision is due on Tuesday as to whether the 13th of March race will go ahead or not. Sunday sees 2 games in the Cricket World Cup. Home side Sri Lanka are taking on Canada in the Hambantota. Sri Lanka won the toss, and thanks to a century from Mahela Jayawardene and 92 from Kumar Sangakkara, put on a healthy total of 332 for 7 off their 50 overs. Canada have really struggled in their reply and are 116 for 9. In Sunday's early game, 2003 World Cup semi-finalists Kenya were thrashed by New Zealand after winning the toss and opting to bat. The Kenyans were bowled out for just 69 runs, 5th lowest score in World Cup history. Hamish Bennett starred for the winners with the ball taking 4 wickets for just 16 runs. In reply, the Black Caps made short work of the target, with the openers knocking off the runs without loss in just 8 overs. This is New Zealand's first 10-wicket World Cup win.
I don't think we ever expected it to be this easy. I think, but to be able to bowl that well and allow our batsmen to have such a small chase is always pleasing. So we didn't expect that, but we're pretty happy with how we performed.
Defending champions Australia are preparing for their group opener against Zimbabwe on Monday. Australia have not lost a one-day international against Zimbabwe since that famous first meeting in the 1983 World Cup, when a team of part-timers shocked Australia with a 13-run victory. That's all in the past, as Australia would be looking for their 3rd straight World Cup victory. That's it for sport. Back to you, David.
Thank you very much indeed. The North Korean leader Kim Jong-il has hosted a concert for Chinese people who live in Pyongyang. State-run television showed video of Kim and his son, Kim Jong-un, he's going to take over, celebrating with members of the Chinese community. The concert was to mark the traditional January full moon day in the lunar calendar. Chinese ambassador was among the guests, and China is North Korea's biggest ally and benefactor. Certainly colourful, if not riotous. More news at the top of the hour.
Hello, welcome to another look at the international forecast. We're still feeling the effects of Tropical Cyclone Carlos across the northern parts of Australia. Here it is, still swirling away. We are going to see some very heavy rain for northwestern areas of Australia over the next couple of days. I should say more heavy rain, maybe as much as 500 millimetres of rainfall just along that northwest coast. You can see how it's, if anything, reorganising itself as it just sinks its way a little further southwards and westwards over the next day or two. So expect to see further flooding across those northern parts of Western Australia. Some rather sharp showers too into the interior, pushing towards Alice Springs, back up towards the Gulf of Carpentaria. Rain too, that's making its way out of New South Wales, pushing into southern parts of Queensland. Could cause further problems here just towards the Gold Coast, then Brisbane at around 27 Celsius. Could see some rather sharp showers too, making their way across New Zealand. Some heavy rain, certainly a possibility into the South Island as we go through Monday. Look further north. Here we have another tropical cyclone. This one's called Atu, just between New Caledonia and Fiji, and that's about where it'll stay. It'll sink its way a little further southwards as we go on through Tuesday. So I think at least the worst of the weather will stay offshore. For Southeast Asia, well, it's the usual crop of heavy showers to come. The wettest weather still there across much of Borneo.
The Pyongyang Film Academy hosts some of North Korea's brightest young stars. What does it take to serve a national propaganda machine? 101 East examines the privileged lives of the country's elite. 101 East, at this time on Al Jazeera.
He's taken stolen goods and he's now dumping them onto the world without any sort of consideration for consequences.
From people making the news.
If the North will be saved a lot of trouble, I think it is important that they should come together.
To those it affects.
We do accept that there was very bad mistakes made in our banking area.
Behind the headlines.
Most South Koreans are not interested in reunification.
Is the inside story. At this time on Al Jazeera.
Reports of more shooting in Libya. Residents say they're heading to Tripoli to burn down the Gaddafi's palace. Hello from me, David Foster. Good to have you with us on Al Jazeera, live from Doha. Also in the next 30 minutes, Bahrain's demonstrators demand concessions, but talks with its ruling party look likely. Uganda's leader wins another 5 years in office. The opposition call it a fraud. And racist or realistic? The Australian mural is stoking huge controversy over immigration. First news in this hour, Libya, where witnesses are telling us here on Al Jazeera that protesters in the city of AlJazeera, which is near to Tripoli, are on their way now to Gaddafi's compound. They claim to burn it down. While security forces have been continuing their clampdown, which has left at least 200 people dead. Stephanie Decker has more.
The streets of Benghazi on Saturday, a fierce battle and the scene of death and violence.
I have cousins who are in the streets whose friends have been killed right in front of them. The killings are just going on. Bodies are piled everywhere. The numbers that they announce on TV are nowhere to compare. They're just firing people. Sniper shooters are on the rooftop. Every house, every single house.
In the morgue, one man takes a last look at his relative and murmurs, he was not armed. Also from Benghazi, this video claims to show what protesters believe is a mercenary, a hired killer, contracted by the Libyan regime to attack demonstrators.